Go. Hi there. Welcome to the third episode. Episode 3. Two devs on the sofa, and big news. We're back on the sofa.
Wait, sofa.
Huge sofa update.
It's actually two devs on the sofa this time.
Yeah, we nailed it there. Cool. So we're in the academy room. We're all set up. Everything's actually how it's meant to be. We're in the first week.
What are we on now? Day 3?
Day 3. Well, when it gets published, it'll be a little bit further along. But
we're like 2 weeks. But we're on day 3 today.
Yeah. So within our first week, which is great. So we've met all the new students. We've started on the curriculum as well.
Yeah.
So we've made a good start. What do you think of it so far then?
Yeah, I think it's going pretty well. I'm pretty pleased. Day 1 was an interesting one. Day 1's always a funny day, like everyone kind of comes in and they're not really sure what to expect, and nobody's met each other before, and like us as teachers, obviously we've met everybody, so we can kind of chat with each individual person, but everyone's kind of trying to suss out who's going to be like the good, the great developer straight away, and who's going to be the quiet one. So yeah, the first day is always an interesting one, but actually, I'm really pleased with how it's going so far. We're three days in, and we're ahead of schedule. Well,
that's it. I've noticed that we've got like the curriculum that we're following, but we're actually a lot further on than we thought we were going to be at this point in terms of the content.
Yeah.
It seems like the guys that we've got here so far are kind of sponging up all the information really quickly.
Yeah. The first module always is always a little bit like this, because when you start off, people are always a little bit not worried, but they ask a fewer questions, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they're always a bit quiet and a bit shy when you first start this kind of thing. So they're a bit quieter. So trying to get them to engage, which it's going pretty well so far, and they're getting a lot better.
Nice.
With the engaging. I think that's going well actually. But the first couple of days, you always tend to get through it a lot quicker than you kind of just thought you would, I guess.
Yeah. I suppose they spent a lot of time going back and actually doing like practicals based on the theory that we've been giving them. I suppose it's worth saying that we've been doing, first module we're doing HTML, CSS.
Yeah.
And what's the relevance of that is that they're coming into this with some sort of a little bit of knowledge, because we've given out this little bit of a pre-course. It's not like massive, but it's just a few bits and bobs that you would need to do before attending the academy. And but I mean, they've all done it, it's fine. I mean, it's mostly based around doing Code Academy. So.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So they've got an idea about HTML, CSS, and that was very clear from when we started.
Yeah.
We found that they are picking up the kind of the ideas and the theories that go along with it quite quickly.
Yeah, it's good. So this week's mostly just about kind of filling in the gaps, taking it a little bit further up to a more advanced level, talking more about, as you say, sort of the theory behind why you do things, not just how to do it, and then actually putting it all into practice and building complete web pages. So we're on our second build now. They've started the second build this morning. We did the first one yesterday.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday was the first one, and today's the second one already. The second one's responsive, so they're already building a responsive site, which actually previously we've left responsive builds until a few weeks later. Actually, we put them into the advanced module. So bringing that into the first week has been a bit, it's been interesting. So we'll see how that goes. But so far they've slapped it up. It's gone really well. So I'm really pleased that we made that change.
That's cool. I was a little bit worried when I saw on the curriculum, because one of the things that we have to tell them to do with responsive is M's and REMs and the difference between it.
Yeah.
That's actually quite a thing to get your head around as well. And so being able to kind of tell them within the first 3 days of doing it is cool. Like, it's good that they've picked it up. No one seems to be complaining.
No, yeah.
Just suffering quietly, I think.
There is a certain degree of that, I guess. Sort of just sitting there like, is it all going to be like this? But I think you're right. Like being able to explain things like M's and REMs, and actually I did a bit of a talk on what the DOM is this afternoon. That can go sort of 2 ways. That's quite a hard one, like HTML, but it's an object. Like what?
Yeah.
That can be a little bit complicated sometimes. So there are some newer sort of harder elements to this module now than there used to be. But like you've got to progress these things. You've got to make it harder if we're going to fit more content in, and if we're going to get the advanced module into PWA and stuff like that. Then you've just got to push some content out. So we've removed some of the less necessary and some of the older stuff now, so we don't touch on quite as much of the like how to support IE7 and things like that. We don't do anything like that anymore, like we were doing.
Yourself if you got IE7 basically.
Exactly. I mean, why are you doing that? So.
Nice. Yeah. So that's interesting. We're kind of thinking about what the feedback we've had in the first few days. It's been really, really positive, which is great. We've had lots of good feedback, and I think the thing that stood out the most was we've performed a series of code reviews. These have been with the code that they built on day 2 and day 3, and we've gone around the room and we've taken the chance to put everyone's code up on the projector, and we would code review it in the way that it would be code reviewed if it was in a workplace. And that's actually something that we just did kind of off the cuff because we wanted to kind of tell them the right way to go about coding, and that's something that's actually they all said that they haven't had experienced at home, because when you're coding on your own or you're teaching yourself, there's no one there to say, okay, that works, but that's not really how you should do it.
Yeah.
But that's
ultimately, at the end of the day, with like coding, there's always going to be multiple ways of solving your problem, and I think that's one of the differences between having sort of a formal education and being taught by a developer versus teaching yourself. Is that you build a website and it works, great, you're done, right? You're a developer.
Yeah.
Not so much. There's so much more to it.
Yeah. And it's like coding hobbyist as opposed to workplace ready coding.
Absolutely. Yeah. Quite. So the code reviews are really powerful from that perspective, I think. And we also got some really great feedback. One of the things I always enjoy doing it every year, kind of because it inflates my ego, but also it's just really good fun.
You enjoy that, do you?
Well,
what?
There's the live coding one. So on day 2 they build a site that we have a template that we get them to build. It takes about 4 or 5 hours usually. We give them to build this site. It's a reasonably big site. And then once we're done and we've kind of reviewed it a bit, then I go back and I kind of build it myself in front of them up on the projector.
Yeah, I do remember that now,
and I can do it in about 12 to 13 minutes at the moment. So sometimes that goes down badly and they're like, I spent 5 hours and you did it in 13 minutes, and I'm like, well, but actually
the feedback though.
I've built it so many times.
Imagine like a Rocky montage of you at home getting ready for the academy.
Oh yeah, I built it like 5 and 6 times over and over
5
again.
times a day, just get ready. Yeah.
It's not quite like that. But, I have built it a lot, so of course I know what I'm doing. But the big difference is that they have to figure stuff out as they go along, whereas I know what it's going to look like before I even start. So I don't make any mistakes as I go through because I already know what the code's going to look like. So that's a big difference.
So it's nice there because they all kind of realise once you know what you're doing, it's not such a mammoth like Herculean task to get stuff done.
And we always get some really good feedback off that one because everyone's like, there's so many different ways of building a page. Like, do you start with all the detail from the top of the page and then build down and make it really detailed as you go, or do you start with the structure and then add detail to it? Like, there's lots of different ways of doing it,
I like the shotgun approach where they all run in and go, well, I'll do everything straight away now. And like obviously the proper way to do it is to like wireframe it out, to have a plan and stick to it. But
I really liked that yesterday.
They're really excited about it, so there's head first.
Well, that's the thing, is that they've just got all these new skills and they can't wait to get stuck in, so they just try and build everything all at the same time. But I really like that on the second day. In the morning we kind of talk about wireframing and how important it is, and then we give them a build, and then none of them use wireframes for the build, and you just don't say anything, just keep quiet, and then I do my like practical build in front of them, and the first thing I do is a wireframe, and then they go, oh yeah, we should have done that. Oh, that makes it so much easier. And then today we started the second build, and they all went right wireframing. So at least they're learning. Like this is the kind of stuff.
That's interesting to mention that as well. I think one of my favourite things from the last few days, like since I've been here, is the fact that, and I said it this morning, and we do like a stand-up every morning.
Yeah.
And the thing I said this morning was that it's brilliant because even at this early stage, they're better coders than they were when they came in the door, like day one.
Massively,
They've got all these rules they didn't know about. They've got all these theories, and they've got them sorted, and they're actually applying these skills into actual builds. Yeah. And they're better, and like a lot of them are quite hard on themselves because they want to be better straight away. They just want to be really good coders.
Day one, I'm a developer.
And it's really hard. They're like, I just wish I could do this, and you actually have to take a step back sometimes and say, look, you guys are better than you were yesterday when you came in. So
absolutely, I think
that's a massive win on that front.
That's always a really good comparison to do sort of after the first week. Like you do 4 days in, and you're like, there's so much that I've got there's left to learn, and this is going to be a really hard week. But actually, if you just take a little bit of time to sort of have a self-retrospective and sort of just sit down after the end of the Friday and go, right, we've only been here for 4 days. What could I do before I started on Tuesday? Yeah. What can I do now? The difference that they'll see is massive, and that's actually the smallest difference that they'll see throughout the rest of the course. Every week is even more content than the previous week.
I suppose that's just the nature of it because it's so immersive and intensive.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, well, I think that's probably a good place to leave it for now.
Yeah, I reckon.
We've got our first few days under our belt. We'll obviously keep you updated at the next 2 week segue, and yeah, we'll see how they get along. Hopefully, they'll if they keep improving at this rate, we'll have some pretty good developers.
They'll be better than us by next week.
Nice. Cool. Well, thanks very much, and catch you next time.
Cheers.
Bye.